Most businesses don't struggle because they lack ideas, customers, or effort. They struggle because day to day operations slowly become heavier, more complex, and harder to manage as the business grows. As a company adds customers, employees, and systems, the amount of coordination required increases. Small inefficiencies that once felt manageable start compounding. Over time, operations become a source of friction rather than support. In this video, we're going to look at how businesses are using AI to automate operations, not as a trend and not as a replacement for people, but as a practical way to reduce operational strain and improve consistency across the business. As businesses grow past the early stages, a common pattern appears. Customer inquiries increase, internal communication becomes harder to manage, information starts living in multiple systems, processes become dependent on specific people remembering specific steps. Many business owners find themselves spending more time managing workflows than improving the business itself. Common operational challenges include repetitive administrative tasks, consuming skilled labor, slower response times to customers and leads, inconsistent execution of internal processes, and data scattered across emails, documents, and software platforms. These issues rarely appear overnight. They develop gradually, and because the business is still functioning, they're often tolerated longer than they should be. Manual processes work well when volume is low and complexity is limited. But as a business grows, those same processes begin to break down. The problem isn't effort, it's structure. Manual workflows rely heavily on human memory, constant attention, and repeated context switching. Tasks move forward only when someone remembers to act. Information is transferred informally. Quality varies depending on who is involved and how busy they are. As volume increases, this creates risk. Tasks get missed during peak periods. Response times slow down. Errors increase. Scaling requires hiring sooner than planned. And critical knowledge becomes locked inside individuals rather than embedded in the business. At a certain point, adding more people doesn't solve the issue. It increases coordination overhead and makes operations more fragile. This is where AI-based automation starts to make sense. AI automation approaches operations differently than traditional software. Instead of relying solely on rigid rules, AI systems can interpret unstructured information, make basic decisions based on context, and move work forward automatically. In practical terms, this allows businesses to automate routine operational work, such as intake and categorization of information, simple decision-making, follow-ups and notifications, internal routing, and data movement between systems. The goal isn't to remove human involvement. The goal is to remove unnecessary repetition. AI handles predictable tasks consistently and at scale, while people focus on judgment, relationships, and problem solving. To make this more concrete, let's look at a few realistic examples. Consider a service-based business that receives inquiries through email, contact forms, and messaging platforms. Instead of someone manually reviewing each message, an AI system can read incoming requests, identify intent, assess urgency, and route them to the appropriate team or workflow. This improves response time without increasing staff workload. In a sales context, rather than manually reviewing every lead, I can analyze submitted information, flag higher priority opportunities, trigger internal notifications, and ensure follow-ups happen reliably. Sales teams spend less time sorting and more time engaging. Internally, routine requests such as status updates, document handling, and task creation can be automated. AI systems can generate summaries, update records, notify relevant stakeholders, and maintain consistent documentation. This improves visibility across the business without adding more meetings or manual reporting. For leadership and operations teams, AI can also support monitoring and reporting. Instead of manually pulling data, systems can aggregate information from multiple sources, highlight anomalies, and surface trends that require attention. AI automation tends to deliver the most value to businesses with certain characteristics. These are usually businesses that handle recurring tasks at moderate to high volume, rely on information moving between systems, serve customers with relatively predictable needs, and operate with mostly standardized processes. This includes professional services, agencies, healthcare-adjacent services, logistics-focused operations, and growing online businesses with support or fulfillment requirements. The determining factor isn't company size, it's process repetition. AI automation isn't about chasing innovation for its own sake. It's about designing operations that scale without breaking. Businesses that use AI effectively often apply it quietly, behind the scenes, to reduce delays, improve consistency, lower operational strain, and increase visibility. When done thoughtfully, automation doesn't make a business less human. It gives people more space to focus on the work that actually requires them. Understanding where AI fits into operations is becoming less about experimentation and more about good management.